Greetings, and welcome to another exciting voyage of our research vessel, the Red Dawn. It's a little remote-controlled, battery-operated boat we got out of Amazon, and using it for a camera platform. We strapped a GoPro 4 to the bottom of it. I use a GoPro 4 instead of the newer models because you can strap on an extra battery to the 4 in the case and end up with 2 hours of video recording in this really cold water. You can't do that with the newer models. The batteries are just terrible. You're lucky if you get 20 minutes. So that's why I use a 4. And works great. So what we're doing today is we're looking at the woody material that was put into Eagle Creek Springs in August of 2021, just last August. Eagle Creek Springs is a salmon habitat enhancement and restoration site. It was enhanced by Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife through a private-public partnership with my family and the Pacific Coast Salmon Coalition out of Forks, Washington. They're the salmon enhancement habitat group for this area. And together we planned on having a big project out here. So in 1999, the state of Fish and Wildlife came in and put in a salmon-friendly culvert and bunch of spawn and gravel in the back. And then they left, told us to handle the woody debris, and then in 2003 they abandoned all the sites, including this one, and 57 other sites along the coast of Washington, Olympic Peninsula, and left them for volunteers to maintain and monitor. So that's what I'm doing today. We're monitoring the wood that we put in August. What you're looking at is a 4-year effort. It took 4 years to get from when we first came up with the idea and put in for the grants, the grant that it takes to do this work, and went through a bunch of meetings and tours and more meetings. And so anyway, back in August of 2021, they got the money together, rented the equipment, got some logs, put them in the creek. And that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at the work that got done, and why it's important is because in November, after a few short months, we ended up with a series of what they call atmospheric rivers. Used to call them pineapple expresses because it rained a lot. You were wishing you were in Hawaii instead of in this rainstorm. But now they call them atmospheric rivers, weather people. And it's just been a very bad year climate change-wise. In the summer, before we put these logs in, we experienced temperatures in the valley here of 104 degrees in June. It's incredible. Never happened before. And then in the fall, we pretty much had a constant rain going the whole month of November, and it culminated on November 15th with this huge amount of water. And it took all 4 of these logs that they put in here for break logs, and they broke loose and moved. 3 of them are disconnected from their tie downs, but they all shifted, and that's okay. I mean, they're still providing habitat, as you can see. But what happened to log 1 is that it's the volume of water in the creek pushed it up out of the water table, so when it came back down, it's actually hanging about a foot above the water, and it's not a very good break log at this point. And so what we're looking at here is we're looking at all the wood that they have piled up behind log 1. And it's a man-made log jam. And we're just checking it out here with the boat, looking for salmon, see what the shape is in, and doing an inventory. We've been waiting since November 15th for them to come in and do the work on the logs. They're going to have to tie them back down at some point. And so we're waiting to see when that's going to happen. In the meantime, I'm going to monitor the situation with this video and show you some really nice fish in the bottom. This is middle of March. It's kind of early for the salmon that spawned up above in the spawning area. They probably won't come out for another few weeks. So that April, we're going to be making a video. April, May, June. At least once a month. Just monitoring the situation to see how many salmon come in to adapt to all this new woody debris that we have. And we're going to try to put more in as we get time and permission. So we're just checking things out. The salmon you see in here now, this creek supports 3 different runs of salmon. The Chinook salmon, the coho salmon, sockeye salmon, and it also supports the winter steelhead and cutthroat trout. So 5 of the 7 species in this river live and breed right here. They spawn, they raise their young, they die. I mean, this is it. This is like the Hilton Hotel for coho salmon. And we've come in and added to it over the years. You know, it's been we're in our 23rd year now of enhancing the habitat, with this being the latest big attempt. And did it right in time for the biggest storm of the century to hit. Perfect. So here you go. Check around here. The salmon that you see in the video right now are likely last year's that wintered over. One of the major things that the project was going to support was a wintering over pond for the fish that are in the river during these big water events. The first part of the creek is the wintering over portion, and you're on the very upstream side of that. So that's kind of why we put all this woody debris in this area, is for protection from the birds, for cover, for to collect nutrients as the water flows by, and just to provide some structure for these fish to hide in. So look closely along the bottom if you can, and as we drift by with the boat. And if you really want to see something, wait for the last minute of this video. There's hundreds. Found a spot where there's just hundreds of salmon feeding and surviving. So that's about it for now. Enjoy the video, and we'll see you next month.